Welcome to The Real Global. I'm your anchor and here are the top stories. Russia has accepted an invitation to landmark Ukraine peace talks in Abu Dhabi scheduled for today. This will be the first time Russian, Ukrainian and US officials meet trilaterally since the invasion began in 2022. President Zelensky confirmed the meeting will focus on territorial issues and ceasefire terms. US envoy Steve Witkoff said territory is the key issue blocking peace. The talks come after Trump claimed a deal was reasonably close. European leaders expressed caution about Russia's intentions. The UAE has offered to host the negotiations. Putin discussed the peace framework with US envoys in Moscow yesterday. The meeting could last several days. Ukrainian officials insist any agreement must respect Ukraine's sovereignty. The world is watching for a breakthrough. President Trump is under fire for claiming U.S. allies stayed off the Afghanistan frontline during the war. Trump said NATO allies refused to fight and let Americans do the dangerous work. UK veterans and politicians condemned the comments as insulting and factually wrong. Former British commander in Helmand called it a gut punch to families of fallen soldiers. Over 450 British troops died in Afghanistan, many in combat. Canadian, Australian, and European forces also suffered casualties. Trump made the claims while defending his decision to withdraw from Afghanistan. NATO Secretary General called the remarks divisive. The comments have strained transatlantic relations just as peace talks begin. Veterans groups demand an apology. The White House has not responded to criticism. A life-threatening winter storm will hit the U.S. this weekend, bringing heavy snow and ice across 30 states. The storm could be historic with up to 2 feet of snow in some areas. Weather services have issued warnings from Texas to Maine. The storm will cause power outages and dangerous travel conditions. Temperatures will drop to minus 20 degrees in the northern plains. Airlines have canceled thousands of flights. The storm is expected to intensify on Saturday and last through Monday. Governors in affected states have declared emergencies. The National Guard is being mobilized. This is the second major storm this month. Climate scientists say extreme winter weather is increasing due to Arctic warming. Residents are urged to prepare emergency kits. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Paris Hilton are backing a new federal law against AI deepfakes that would criminalize non-consensual synthetic media. The bipartisan bill creates penalties of up to 10 years in prison for creating or distributing harmful deepfakes. The law targets AI-generated pornography and political misinformation. Hilton has been a victim of deepfake pornography and is campaigning for stronger protections. AOC says the technology threatens democracy and women's safety. Tech companies would be required to label AI-generated content. The bill has support from both Democrats and Republicans. Civil liberties groups worry about free speech implications. The EU is considering similar legislation. The law would be the first federal ban on malicious deep fakes in the U.S. The United States has completed its withdrawal from the World Health Organization as of January 22, 2026. The Trump administration formally notified the UN of the withdrawal last year. The U.S. was the WHO's largest donor, contributing $450 million annually. The withdrawal leaves the WHO with a major funding gap. Global health experts warn the move will hamper pandemic preparedness. China has increased its contributions to fill the gap. The U.S. will now rely on its own health agencies for global surveillance. The withdrawal was opposed by U.S. health officials and Democrats. The move reverses decades of American leadership in global health. The WHO says it will continue its mission without U.S. support. The decision may be reversed by a future administration. Iran has reported 3,117 protest deaths and warns the United States as Trump says a U.S. armada is approaching. The death toll is nearly 5 times higher than previous estimates. The government claims the dead include security forces killed by protesters. President Trump announced U.S. warships are moving toward Iran in response to the crackdown. The Iranian Foreign Ministry warned any attack on Iranian sovereignty will face a decisive response. The UN says the actual death toll is likely higher. Human rights groups accuse Iran of crimes against humanity. The protests began in December over economic conditions. The Iranian currency has collapsed to record lows. International sanctions are worsening the crisis. The U.S. Armada includes aircraft carriers and destroyers. Japan's Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi has dissolved parliament after only 3 months in office, setting up a snap election for February 15. The move comes after her approval ratings plummeted below 30%. Takaichi's Liberal Democratic Party faces a tough fight against the opposition. The snap election will be Japan's third in 2 years. Voters are angry about economic stagnation and a political funding scandal. The opposition Constitutional Democratic Party is leading in polls. Takaichi took office in October after her predecessor resigned. The dissolution means Parliament will not pass the annual budget. The election campaign will focus on economic recovery and corruption. Political analysts say the LDP could lose its majority. The result is highly uncertain. U.S. immigration officers have detained a 5-year-old boy in Minnesota, sparking outrage among immigrant communities. The boy was taken from his kindergarten class in Minneapolis while his mother was present. ICE agents said the child was on their deportation list despite his age. The mother was also detained along with her 2 other children. The incident occurred as Trump expands deportation operations nationwide. Civil rights groups called the detention inhumane and illegal. The boy is being held in a family detention center in Texas. Democratic lawmakers are demanding his immediate release. Minnesota's governor condemned the action. The White House defended the detention, saying age is not a factor in enforcement. The case has become a symbol of Trump's harsh immigration policies.